Moving now to agenda item number 8. This is not the one with what's on it? No. This is basically another one of those rollover tenders. But Gareth, do you wish to comment on this, or take it as read, or take any questions?
I've got Kevin Sears here, who's the technical expert, so if there's any questions, then Kevin or myself will be able to answer them, but otherwise it is pretty mechanical.
Kevin, welcome, Mr. Sears. So this is a roller, or this is a new one?
No, this is a new contract.
Okay, tell us all about it, please.
Basically, it's for cartage of liquid sludge from all our wastewater treatment plants. This work previously has been done, but not under a formal contract. And so we've pulled this together into a formal contract, gone out to the market for tenders, and 3 tenders have come in. And so we're recommending that the tender from Hydrocare be accepted. And at this stage, those figures have been incorporated in the proposed budgets.
So the engineer estimated before you went out for tender that it would be 687.
Yes.
You've received tenders from 685 to 1 million.
Yes, just over.
And are you I shouldn't have been asking these questions, should have addressed the council first. And you're confident with Hydrocare New Zealand Limited as a contractor to TDC?
Yes, I am. They seem a very professional company. I've also run 2 or 3 other councils that they've done work for, and they've all spoken of them very highly.
Certainly don't want to be giving tenders to Cowboys. Councillor Downard.
Yes. Whereabouts are they based?
Hydrocare.
Yeah.
Their main base is in Thames, but they have a base in Hamilton, and I believe another one in Rotorua, but they've made a commitment that they will set up a base here in Taupo. If this contract is awarded to them, obviously.
The other tender, the only other Taupo tenderer was Rainbow.
Rainbows is they're the incumbent. They've been previously doing the work for us, but not under a formal contract.
And
just a clarification, the contract number, am I reading that right? Does it start this year? I hope it don't finish in 31. Is that a reversal of figures there? Is it a 3-year contract?
It's a 3-year contract, fixed 3-year.
13.
So it's 13.
13.
Not 31.
Sorry,
Not 31.
Someone's a bit dyslexic. They put the 1 before the 3 or the 3 before the 1.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And
certainly change that before you sign the contract, please.
And is that price for the 3-year period?
That's for the 3-year period.
Thank you.
Total, so it's 200 odd grand per year.
Yep.
Okay, there's a suggested resolution which you can all read on that page there, which is to accept that contract, etc. Now, just before we do, there was local company, so our weighting still went in favour of this, did it, by using the weighting? The policy we had.
Sorry, the weighting for, as in for local contractors.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry, I was not aware of that.
They want it anyway.
Weightings.
Yes, Your Honour. We're doing a lot today, aren't we?
They're in court.
Mr. Mayor, the tender was evaluated using the weighted attribute system, so that's partly on cost, it's partly on experience. So there's no local based weighting, it's on experience and
policy has been used.
Correct. Yes.
Right. So do we have a mover?
Move.
Councillor Hickling as a mover, seconded from Councillor Williams. Thank you very much. All those in favour? Aye. Thank you very much. Good luck removing the sludge from Omori. This agenda item number 9, I've actually Alan's given some information just before the meeting. We'd like to actually change the suggested resolution. If you read this correctly, this is a 3 + 1 + 1 contract. We're at the stage where the 3 has gone, and we're at the 1 + 1 stage. Okay. The contractor has said to us that if you renew it for 2 years, they would take 150k off the contract.
Well, we save 150k.
We save that. They've come back with an option to reduce the cost by fixing the contract rate for a further 2 years and not paying the existing cost fluctuation payment now due or any further adjustment over the extension of the period. So that would save us 150,000 over the remaining 2 years of the contract.
Okay, so if you want to, and Mr. Van Hennet's very good with the figures as we know, and we'll be saving 150k just in this contract, rather than renew it for the 1 year, we renew it for the 2 years that are left in the contract. Is that right?
That's correct.
So the resolution would be, instead of number 606 for another year, would be for
A further
a
2 years.
2-year period ending on July 2013.
Correct.
Any discussion on that? Anybody?
So-
Councillor Mincher? Hang on, sorry. I'll go there first.
Yeah.
So that would be the savings in the budget you've already set.
We haven't budgeted out to 2013. We've only budgeted out to 2012. And some of it's related to price fluctuations in the current year. The rest of it's CPI, which they will not be applying.
So, what within this resolution, the 1.2 million will be the exact figure that we pay for the next 2 years. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, something else. Sorry.
That's all right. No, I've been answered. Thank you.
Okay, so any more discussion on that? Everybody happy to that resolution gets changed to for 2-year period ending on July 2013 at the annual value of 1.2 million excluding GST. And I'm only repeating myself, which Mr. Van Hennep for the CPI adjustments, etc. that won't be invoked is an approximate saving of $150,000 for council over a 2-year period. Do I have a mover? So move Councillor Downard, seconded Councillor Mincher. All those in favour? Thank you. Carried. Again, we have another contract, which is your road signs maintenance contract. Mr. Van Hennep, do you want to speak on this report?
No, Mr. Lewis.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, buddy. Didn't look up. Okay, Mr. Lewis, please. Do you want to give us a quick overview of this, please?
This is another contract where there's a 3+1+1, and we're seeking extension of the 5th and final year of the contract. Estimated value of the extension is $110,000, and it'll take it through to the 30th of June 2012.
So this is for a 1 year. This is just 1 year left.
This is the last year. We've already
and he's jumping us 110 grand.
Yes.
Why don't we go back up to tender?
We could do it as still a good value for the contract works.
Well, you need to tell us that because we're just governance. We don't. Councillor Downard?
It's only gone up 5,000. A jump of 110,000, you know, it's quite significant.
It's not a jump, that's the annual value.
Oh, the annual value.
That's the annual value. It's not an increase of 110,000. That's the annual value of the contract for 12 months.
Just explain this a bit more to me. So, how much are we paying at the moment per annum for this?
105.
105,000, and I'd make it quite
So
clear.
it's going to 110 for the last year. It's gone up 5 grand.
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
that's an estimate based on.
My heart was fluttering. It's okay.
Because it's
Caught up.
The way I read it, it's gone up 110. Sorry.
It's the way it's read. You know, sometimes us dummies we.
What I've said
read it
is the
wrong.
value of the extension is $110,000. So that is the value for a 12-month period, and it is based on estimating the number and types of signs that we're likely to replace in that 12-month period.
I'm on the program now. Okay. Any further questions or anything from anybody?
And last year it cost us 105,000.
Sorry,
5,000.
and that's GST exclusive. Yes, it is. Okay, a mover, please. Been no further discussion. Move, Councillor Downard. Second, Councillor Johnson. All those in favour? Right. The next one is another tender contract. It's Taupo wastewater treatment plant works, which we all know about. Who have we got? Are you? I've got Ron Boyle or Mr. Ben Hennett, and I can't see Mr. Boyle in the room.
Mr. Lewis can do the next 2 papers, 11 and 12.
You're going to do these? Yes, Mr. Lewis.
Yes, I'm doing.
Well, I think, you know, it's a lot of money and we just need to be taken on a little trip and reviewed here. I know we'd already planned this. I know it's in our long-term plan. So, you know, just give us a little bit of a walkthrough. Your engineer's estimate was 7.4 million, and your tender's come in at 5.9. Councillor Downer?
Oh, well, okay, I'll go to you.
You might. The CEO and myself met with the consultants to this particular project to get a degree of comfort, because we had a few questions, and it would be fair to say, Mr. Williams, that we were satisfied with the answers.
It's a project that we've put through the mill over the last couple of years, to be perfectly honest, and we've tested what needs to be done and what doesn't need to be done. We met with the consultant a few weeks ago just to reconfirm our thinking, and we've removed elements of growth from the original contract as well. So, but basically the engineer's estimate came in at 7.4, and we've managed to obtain a lowest price tender of just under 6.
We've made a saving, well, you gentlemen have got us a saving on our budget of 1.4 million.
That's right.
Well done.
And this is in our present capital works.
It's in the LTCCP.
Yep.
And Councillor Downer, were you still?
No.
That's filled it in?
It's filled it in, but you know, you've got to appreciate that us councillors, or especially me, we get these figures here, and the engineer's estimate is always a lot higher, and you know, compared to what the tenders. I appreciate that it is a hard market out there, and tenderers come in, you know, with their best price proposal, but we do need that explanation, I think, on a lot of these tenders, especially when we're talking about millions, because we don't have the in-depth knowledge that the management have. It's hard for us to pass something like this when we're looking at, you know, $2 million, and you kind of think, well, are you getting a $2 million worse job? Appreciate the
it's just interesting for me to note that when you go back to previous tenders, whilst I'm not wanting the tenderer to be in particular named who he is and what he is, we have a council officer's engineer's estimate. The tenders, what I'm trying to say is the tenders normally come in around the engineer's estimate, but some of them can be $300,000 and $400,000 over. This particular one here is listing the tenderers, but not actually the prices. So we've been asked to approve one of 5.9. Are we allowed to know what the other tenders were?
It's got the range there, sorry. It's got the range. Price range, but not
Just the
individual.
price range.
Just from 5.8 to 7.4.
I'm happy to move this with the explanation from our management.
Councillor Henderson, is that a second or?
Just a quick question. Just the discrepancy between, I see here 65% of the Turangi version is funded and 95% of the other one by Ministry of Health. What was it? Is it?
Next time.
Doing number 11.
Here
to go. Self again.
I thought we were telling us.
Still on number 11.
Getting closer to real time.
Oh, okay.
Have a break at 3. Okay, we had a mover.
We're on the Turangi.
You come back at 5:02.
I seriously thought we were on that one.
We had a mover with Councillor Downer. We have a second, anywhere, please. Seconded with Councillor Johnson. All those in favour? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Carried. We will now move to Mangakino and Turangi waste. What does that stand for? That's the waste water treatment plant. Is anybody going to be talking to this? Mr. Lewis, you're going to take us
I
through
will
this?
answer as best I can, Your Worship.
Okay, well, you want to sit there and take questions. We'll start with Councillor Henderson.
Same
Here
question.
with you, mate.
That's all right. Yeah, just the discrepancy between 65% and 95% funding.
As near as I can understand, that's based on a number of guidelines that the Ministry of Health have, and it depends on a whole lot of things like the indice for
Deprivation.
Social
deprivation indice and things like that. So those sort of things impact on percentage.
The funding comes from a subsidy scheme set up by government for small water treatment plants in smaller communities in New Zealand, and those figures are based on different types of indices that the government apply.
Big Brother is actually helping us in this instance.
Well, in theory, we're doing this to meet the drinking water guidelines, so it's
He imposes that one.
It's a statutory, so careful. Yeah.
Okay, any further discussion on this one? Okay, being none, there's a suggested resolution there. The tender contract, number 1 and number 2. There's 2 resolutions. We can take them with one mover and one seconder. Do I have a mover? Move. Councillor Kipper. Second anywhere? Councillor Truman. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you very much.